Hey folks, welcome to another video from wreckingow.com. Rather than another DIY video, I wanted to highlight a recent trip I made down to the Alabama coast. Frequently we head to Florida once a year, but for the second year in a row we've taken a fishing trip to Gulf Shores in Alabama. We showed up just a week after Elsa blew through, so according to locals, the normally blue water would be a nasty brown, and they were definitely right. It was not the prettiest water we've been to. That in combination with the still lingering June grass made for a tough fishing week, but we hung in there and we grinded it out. It was also a great opportunity for me to try out some of the recent things I had made on the blog, including my new fishing cart. That worked out great. What didn't work out so great was the constant pulling of the June grass off of our rods. You can see the grass would just travel right up the line, and eventually it'd get caught at your leader nut, and you'd have to just pick it off each time. It was fishable, but it was definitely a pain to fight through it. In spite of it all, we still caught plenty of fish. This is me pulling in one of many hardtail that were hanging out in the second cut. I was using a 12-foot surf rod with a conventional reel as well as some 10-foot spinning rods, and we would just set those out there in the second and first cut and see what came along. Additionally, we caught one of these Specks, and we caught some Spanish. We did catch one lone pompano on one of the clearer days, on one of the pompano float hooks that I showed you how to make. The plug you're seeing here was actually inspired by a video I saw from the Bama Beach Bum. He was throwing a similar style plug in the surf, and I had never thrown a plug like that in the surf. It looked like fun, so I bought a similar blank and I painted one myself in the same color pattern. It actually proved really successful. I caught 2 blues in the morning, the only time I threw it. I actually painted another one in a Wreck and Owl pattern that I'll probably give away at some point on the blog. I did learn that I'm going to have to put more epoxy on when we're catching blues because their teeth tore the plug up. But we did eat both these fish. Some folks don't eat blues. They say they're muddy. I think if you cut the bloodline out and put them in milk, it seems to get rid of that taste and taste pretty good. This is the second one I caught. I didn't have pliers at the time. He's still hooked to the plug. I was afraid to take it out. He was pretty squirmy, so I had to wait on pliers for that one. This clip is the highlight of the trip for me. My dad had his surf rod sitting out, and we were just hanging out with the kids. We saw the line kind of go slack and move, parallel to the shoreline. It wasn't a hard tug or anything, but we knew something was on it. So as he went to reel down on it, it just started taking line and going, straight down the shoreline. Dad only had 20-pound test line on the rod, so he fought it for a good 15 to 20 minutes until he got it close enough to the shore that I could see the familiar side of the tail and knew he had a bull red. Neither of us had caught one of these in the surf, and so we were jumping up and down, and it was definitely the highlight of the trip. The best part was I got to see my dad catch it and help him pull it in. Once we got it in, we actually got a chance to take a look at the hook, and we noticed that it had nearly straightened the pompano hook, so we were happy to get it to shore. All in all, it was a great fishing trip. We caught many different kinds of fish, and the second to the last night, we had a fish fry. Our plan was to fry each of the fish individually so we could kind of do the Pepsi challenge to understand what we like best and let the family decide what they like best. So we had Spanish mackerel, hardtail, pompano, some speckled trout, and some bluefish. The verdict was that the pompano and the speckled trout were the cleanest tasting, but they all tasted great, and if you weren't eating them back to back, I don't think you'd know the difference. I appreciate you watching the highlights, and tune in for the next video. Thanks.